This is part 4 of the Chapter 9 lecture. Okay, so we're going to do some math with a drug that's in powdered form. The prescriber ordered 150 milligrams of a drug, stat. The directions on the 500 milligram vial read add 9.7 milliliters, and the strength will be 100 milligrams per milliliter. How many milliliters of the reconstituted solution will you administer? In this problem, this is not needed, okay? We don't need to know also how many milligrams there are in the vial. Somebody already did this for us. We're talking about it's already been reconstituted. So this is extra information here. The main stuff we need is that prescriber ordered 150 milligrams, and then after it has been mixed properly, this is the strength. We just want to know how much we need to draw out of the vial. Okay, so this problem works essentially the same way as all the others. Okay, the strength is 100 milligrams per milliliter. Okay. We are supposed to end up with milliliters, so I'm going to flip this so that my milliliters are on the top. I have 1 milliliter over 100 milligrams. Okay, I want to end up with 150 milligrams of the drug. So I'm going to multiply this. I want my milligrams to cancel out, so 150 goes on the top. Put this over a 1. Your milligrams cancel out. You're left with milliliters. You can think of reducing this. If I divide this by 50, I get a 2. Divide this by 50, I get a 3. So this is 3 halves of a milliliter, and if you divide 3 by 2, you find out you get 1.5 milliliters. And that should be the solution. Okay. Look at where they did this. And they did essentially what we did, okay? This was the strength of the mixed drug. This is how much we wanted to end up with. They multiplied on the left, we multiplied on the right, same difference. They end up with 1.5 milliliters of the solution. Okay. This is a figure to represent the reconstitution of a drug. So they needed to get the water, okay, injected 1.8 milliliters of air into the water, and then they withdrew 1.8 milliliters of the water. They injected it into the vial, and then this is now the strength, and they withdrew a dose of 250. Okay. So what have we done in this chapter? We've learned that medications supplied in powdered form must be reconstituted following the manufacturer's directions. You must determine the best dosage strength when there are several options for reconstituting the medication. Just like when you pick the correct syringe, you want to pick the dosage that is going to be easiest to get the measurement exactly right. The other things you might consider is how often a drug is used and how long its shelf life is after it's been mixed. So you want to be able to, you don't want to be throwing away any more than you need to. So those are things to consider. All right. Sometimes when you're talking about reconstituting the drug, there'll be information provided both for an intramuscular direction and an IV reconstitution. They may be different on how you mix it and how you deal with the strength on that. So make sure you read the order and the label very carefully to determine the necessary amount of diluent. Okay. Heparin is measured in USP units. It is especially important that heparin orders be carefully checked with the available dosage strength before calculating the amount to be administered. You should usually use a tuberculin or a 0.5 milliliter syringe when you're administering heparin. And again, make sure that you are not mixing up heparin sodium and heparin flush. Okay? If you should now look at the questions at the end of the chapter, the extra questions I've supplied within Module 3 for you. And if you have questions from the homework, be sure to tell me. The homework questions are in random order, so don't just tell me you need number 5. Give me enough information from the homework to find the question you have. Good luck!